Hey guys, hope you're all doing great. I'm back with another video, and today I want to talk about how you can approach your mix in Studio One 6. And that even rhymes, so that's really cool. So yeah, let's jump right in. So this is the fresh and new update Studio One 6. It has a ton of new features. I was just working on another project and I noticed that a couple of things got moved around, so just want to dial it back a little bit and just go back to basics and start off. I'm not really sure where this will go because I just basically took a session that I've done, removed all the plugins, brought all the faders back to zero, and I'm really going to start from the beginning. There's still a few things already in there, but I'll take you over every step, and if you have any questions, you're more than welcome to comment them down below, and I'll be more than happy to make another video about your comments or the questions that you have. So let's jump right in. So first of all, we're here in Studio One. You see your mixing window here with all your faders, and then up here you have your audio and MIDI section where you can record your instruments. So first of all, you see all the different channels in here. You know, if you would just drag and drop your audio, this is how it will show up. Well, it will obviously show up as in full audio files. I cut certain pieces, as you can notice, and also dragged in certain samples. But this is just raw material. To start off with, we're gonna first of all name the tracks. This is a very important one. And I'll take you over the other steps as well, because I find it really important to organize your session properly. And this is something I had to learn over time as well. You know, like back in the day, I just started recording and doing all this stuff, and a bunch of things weren't named properly. And then eventually, when you're in the further states of mixing and then eventually mastering, it becomes very, very complicated to find things where they were, and also audio in the audio files are not named correctly. So I can't stress it enough how important it is to properly organize everything. Do your gain staging, set your faders right, make sure there's certain buses for your instruments to just make it easier for you. And obviously there's many different ways, and you know how you work is different for everyone, but I'm just going to show you, you know, how I approach things, and maybe you find it helpful, and maybe there's a few things here and there that you might think like, oh, you know, I'm going to start paying a little bit more attention to that. So all right, let's jump right in. I'm going to start naming all the tracks, and then we're going to move on to the next one. We have toms here, kick, this is another kick, so I'll call it kick 2. We have a snare. What do we have here? I see this is a MIDI instrument because of the little keyboard here, so I think that will correspond to, see here, superior drummer. Also here you have your instrument section. If you don't have that, you can open it up here on the bottom left corner. And I'm not going to go over every other option, but this is also a really good one to check out. It has a bunch of different options, such as you're changing your phase here, input gain, some of them I find very useful. You know, if there's VCA connections, group assignments, channel notes, icons. This is funny. In this version, they also put the option to put icons in there for certain or, you know, symbols for certain channels. So all right, let's continue with what we were doing. These were the drums here. This was what exactly? These are claps, cymbals, which correspond to superior drummer, just here. And I'm also going to rename that just to make sure whenever I'm going back and forth, I know where everything is. All right. Same here with the toms. on the first one. Let's just double check. You can tell on this plugin what is selected to remember what your instruments are. This one. Alright, so we're gonna change this one, just double check, into toms. You can see it here as well, toms. Alright. Where were we? Right there. This is some light percussion. If the name is too long, I sometimes make it a little shorter. I'm just gonna channel icons for now and remove it. Alright, these are certain, I'm just going to call them claps. Alright, there we go. These are all drum sections, and you know, depending on what color you prefer, I'm going to give this a color already. Then we're going to move on to the next one. This is a bass synth. My synths, my bass actually is always yellow. These are guitars. I'm just gonna call this guitar left and guitar right because I love to pan my guitars from left to right. My guitar is always blue. Next one. Strings. I think this was the cello, so I'm gonna call it cello. Give it the color red because most of my strings I give it the color. Is cello 2. Also here on the left side, call it cello. Also, you can see the keys here moving, so you know what is happening actually. See here, if you click on it, then actually no, I'll take my words back. This is actually the easiest. If you're on a channel, you can open up your MIDI instrument very easily by clicking on here. It will show up here on the top menu, and you can rename it here to cello, and it will also change your instrument here instead of having to go back and forth between those two all the time. Alright, same one here. I'll call this cello 2 for now, just to make it nice and easy. And this one is cello 1. Alright, there we go. Call this effects 1. What do we have here? I think this is the piano. 2 pianos, I do remember. Piano 2 and piano 1. All right. This is another DI track, so this is going to be guitar. Alright, another one, just drag it up there. Pizzicato strings. There we go. Again, go to your instrument. Pizzicato is the one we're using. Pizzi. Alright. And these are vocals, which I'm not going to focus on as of right now, but I'm going to call it vocal 1 and vocal 2. Alrighty, just disable this one because I'm going to focus on the instrumental for now. Alright, so we have it nice and structured here. On the top menu you have the arranger, which you can open up by clicking on the eye. There you go, and here you can double click, call it whatever you want. You know, this is the verse, pre-chorus, chorus. If you want to make it a little bit more clear, you know, you can also give it a number just to make sure where you are. Pre-chorus 2. Oh, this is chorus 2, chorus 3, the bridge, chorus 4, and 5. All right. How you know where is what exactly, you can just easily do it by listening to it. You can already see here from the instrument where is what exactly, but I can always recommend just listen to everything, okay? Then next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna make sure everything is running quite hot, so I'm gonna, there's a few instruments that are quite loud. Alright, if everything is quite hot, what you can do is, or first of all, you take down your gain, or what you can also do for the ease of use, if you don't want to spend too much time on that, take your faders down a bit. So you don't have all the clipping anymore, and to do that, please listen to the loudest section of your song so you know you're not being misled by, you know, all of this and then the kick comes in and everything goes in red, basically. All right. Then another very useful option to use is if you hold down Shift Enter, the names of your audio or MIDI regions will change to the correct name, because sometimes, see, if you use certain samples and if you don't want that, you can go here, double click. If you're changing the name, call it kick sample. Again, hit this one and it will change to the correct name. Same here. And you can do that for every other channel. Almost there. This is a violin, so it seems, looking at the audio regions. Fix 1, piano 1, piano 2, PG strings. All right, fantastic. Now, first of all, I give percussion a certain color, bass a certain color, guitars a certain color, vocals a certain color, piano, since everything has their own color, and that makes it very easy for you to recognize them here on the top menu as well. If you click here on the eye, or if you click on one here, you can also change the color down here to whatever you prefer, just to make it nice and easy for you, so you can go back and forth. I also like, by the way, to put a marker in there from beginning and ending. It just makes it a little easier for me to export a track. You know, my start point always starts a little bit before the track and ends a little bit after it's done. All right, so then the next thing that we're going to do is I like to have everything in going to a bus, just for the option of doing certain bus effects. If you want to do compression, give it a little bit more flavor and make it nice and coherent. So what we're going to do is take all these kick, snare, claps, cymbals, light percussion, and claps. Well, you can see here that those are playing together most of the time, so I'm going to make this a drum bus, and I like to give my buses a color just jumps out a bit more, so you can look at it and you can notice it right away. I'm gonna give the other ones a slightly different green, because I'm not gonna send those to a bus, because they are a little different, too specific, and they come on other places in the song than just the chorus part, and I want to be able to, you know, manipulate that sound a little differently. Okay, so that's the reason why I'm doing that. Then the next option here, we have the bass. I'm just gonna leave it as it is as of right now. Guitars also go to a bus, guitar bus. Bum, 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 bum. This is another guitar, which I think is gonna do a little bit of different processing on there. So again, I'm gonna give it a slight different blue, so I can notice it from the other ones. Then I have all my strings here. And just this again really depends. I'm not gonna do any bus here. Just like to have everything separate here, but we can still do that afterwards. So, well guys, this is it for this video. I hope you find this very helpful, you know, how to, you know, basically get your sound and get everything ready to go so you can start mixing, throw on your plugins, and do the balance of your mix. If you have any questions in particular, I'll zoom in on more things again in the next videos. I never really know what I'll do in the next one, if it's reviewing a plugin or if it's, you know, tips, tricks, or whatever. So you're more than welcome to ask me your questions, and I would be more than happy to do a video on it. Again, thank you so much for watching, everyone, and hope you have an amazing day, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.